Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Lerman, and since I was a kid, I have always delighted in learning new things, coming up with new ideas and creating. That creative urge has taken many different forms over the years, and eventually it led me to where I am now, studying product design at Drexel University. So I am going to be sharing my journey over the last 4 years with you guys, the important lessons I learned, and how I'm activating those lessons today. So the foundational lesson of my design education was how to make decisions you can defend. Every object has details: size, shape, material, function, those buttons that you just don't know what they do. And somebody made a decision that resulted in each of those details. If it's good, there's an insight behind those decisions. And people drive those insights. They see, touch, use, and experience the consequences of every choice we make as designers. In this way, empathizing with people is our best tool. So this is about some bathroom pics. I was researching for the redesign of a toothbrush, and getting to know people, I started interviewing them in their bathrooms and going through their oral hygiene routines with them. So this actually revealed that the problem wasn't the toothbrush, but the environment. Better storage was the solution to, how everybody's bathroom counter looks. So I moved the toothbrush holder off of the cluttered counters and onto the wall, and incorporated a cover and disinfecting UV light to protect the toothbrush from the rest of the bathroom. This project really helped me illustrate that every decision comes straight from a human need. Another lesson that really enriched my work was how to visualize the invisible. All of our lives are affected by unseen forces. Things like social norms, biases, emotions, relationships, and technological systems. Design is the ability to reveal these forces. By making these things visible, tangible, and relatable, we can begin to shift perceptions. So during a week-long data visualization workshop led by Brendan Dawes, I was able to learn about this firsthand. I used real-time tweets from Twitter to power a 3D printed cat and dog on a working track. It sounds a little bit wacky, but it makes sense when you see it. So their LED faces changed based on the content of the tweets that had been programmed by me to control them. And the content of the tweets determined which animal moved forward in this what we called the race for love. So whichever one, say lots of people were tweeting about cats, the cat moved forward and would win the race, and so on and so forth, forever and ever. By creating this object, we were able to bring to life our feelings about our pets and demonstrate how even our benign and invisible biases impact the world around us. And one of the more challenging lessons that it was for me to internalize was about the relationship between failure and experimentation, how to create space for experimentation. I learned that when you keep a narrow view of your work and your goals, any deviation from your vision looks a lot like a failure. But by expanding your lens, what seemed like failure becomes an experiment, and experiments are vital to discovery. In my junior year, I was working on a series of objects that were about capturing emotions visually. These visual and material experiments were not the final product that I wanted, but actually really important opportunities for me to learn. I followed each opportunity to its conclusion with an open mind, iterating again and again on the theme of narrative expression and inner emotions for an entire term. These experiments concluded with a big showcase of the work that I actually planned and advertised. It was a whole shebang. And it prominently featured this 4-foot-tall soft sculpture creature that was affectionately called Sheila by everyone. She elicited a lot of strong emotions in viewers. But Sheila was not the end. That project was about making feelings and inner experiences tangible, but it did so in a passive way. To be impactful and actually change people's feelings, they must take part in something active, something that invites them into the experience. And now that it's my senior year, I'm able to combine all of these lessons I've been learning, and I can embrace experimentation, represent abstract ideas, and really get to know and understand people. This allows me to be able to find that active solution that I'm looking for. So I spoke to people about their emotional relationships to physical objects, what made them feel connected, and how those feelings manifested in their day-to-day lives. There's people with some soft sculptures that I made, snuggling up. So after talking to these people, it became clear that stress and discomfort in daily life was keeping them from being fully in touch with their embodied experiences, so how they physically feel. They felt disconnected. So I thought, how might I address this disconnect with an object? You know, because I'm a designer. So I looked all around for inspiration. Architect Pierre Shaw says, an alternate route to be authentic may be found through an acceptance of the body's endless rhythms. And Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer describes entering a physical state of mind in which we're actively engaged in the present and noticing new things as very beneficial to the goal I'm looking for. And one of my users, Sarah, talks about how she gets reconnected by tuning into all the things around her and how those things make her feel. Essentially, what all these people are describing, the answer to this problem of disconnect, is mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness has a ton of wellness benefits, including a decrease in stress. But the average stressed out person who really stands to benefit from it sees mindfulness practice as incompatible with their lives. You know, that's something that people who do a lot of yoga do, but not me. So how to solve that? Looking back at the soft forms I was developing, I saw a real opportunity. By activating them on the body, people can begin to notice new sensations and actually be invited into mindfulness. And because of the familiarity that's inherent in a soft object, you know, you hug it as if you hug a pillow or your stuffed animal or even a really friendly cat. As they become familiar with this object, the practice becomes demystified. So that's my goal. And I'm currently in the midst of developing this project, fine-tuning the forms based on feedback and iteration, as well as generating sensory outputs based on users' biometric inputs. And every detail of these soft forms is meant to reconnect the user to their physical experience in the present moment. And when engaged with over time, they should help people develop that awareness. So our emotions and senses are a defining part of our lives, yet most of the world either ignores or is hostile to this aspect of human experience. And now is the time to really embrace our humanity through design. Not track it or change it or turn it into data, but just be mindful of it. As designers, we have a unique opportunity to leverage not only our role as shapers of the world around us, but also our tool set, all the things that we've been learning, and our empathic thinking. Objects alter the world around us, and what I've learned through my design education is that we can and should use this power to better people's lives. Thank you.